Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Time to take you around the world as we quickly look at those stories trending. Well, just to let you know that Nigerians are really into sport and they want to do well. It's not just to do it for fun. They also want to excel professionally in different sports they find themselves. Now let's look at our first story. NFL President Guso appoints Balele Olopade Mukhtar to advise on age grade teams. Age grade teams has to do with the Flamingos, Falconet, not forgetting all the men, talking about the under-17 boys, the Golden Eaglet, the Flying Eagles, and also the under-23. But right now, the three men have been given the opportunity to at least serve Nigeria by making sure they allow the age grade team to perform well in the competition they'll be prosecuting. Well, Golden Eaglet, they've qualified to play the under-17. That's the qualifier, that's AFCON qualifiers, where they'll be jostling to see how they can make it to the World Cup level. They won at the WAFU level. And also, the Flying Eagles also did well in the WAFU B competition. But the two teams right now, they just have to do well as they try to prosecute their game in the African level there. Good one. We just have to look at this story. I have in the studio, Ikena Okonkwo. At least the NFL president deemed it fit to appoint these three wise men. Let me call them wise men now. They will be adding value to our age grade teams. Golden Eaglet, Flying Eagles go out there to prosecute their games. Right now, Flamingos are in India. They are fighting for honors in the under-17 World Cup. But from the way it is, we need to really get it right, because this year we've seen what happened to Super Eagles, we've seen what happened to Super Falcons, and now also even the Falconets. And now Flamingos are trying to fight for their own. So these three wise men are right given the opportunity to perform these duties.
Yeah, it's a good way to start. If you ask me by the leadership of NFF, that committee was just inaugurated some few minutes ago. The inauguration was scheduled for 9 a.m. Nigerian time in Abuja. I was partly part of it before I left to the studio. They just inaugurated them, and it appears that it's a good sign for what this particular board is standing for. The NFF president, you could see that exactly 9 a.m. he was in the boardroom and the program started. I mean, it's a good sign. Mukhtar is a grassroots person right from time. He's been in the board of FCT-FA for over 10 years. Now he's the president of the board, I mean, at the FCT level. Then Balele, have known him for 4 decades at the grassroots. I mean, currently he's the FA chairman in Katsina. Katsina is one of the states in Nigeria. And Olopade is a
sport marketing guru.
He's a money man, you know. I want to call him a money man because he knows the right places to press the right buttons and get the right results. So it's a combination of sorts that you want to look at, because one of the major things that this board is facing is money issues. And these age grade teams, they are battled issues of money. Their coaches are owed so much money. I mean, when the former board that left some few weeks ago came on board, they said they wouldn't pay allowances to players and to assistant coaches and all of that. But those that they agreed to pay, they are owing so much. And even those they are not paying, it's not supposed to be, because these people are putting in a lot. You can only encourage them by saying, pat them on the back with something, but they are not getting. They have not been getting, actually. So it's an issue of money. There hasn't been money. So this particular NFF board, led by Alhaji Ibrahim Guzo, I think he wants to drive funds to make sure that this grassroots is well rooted and then things are done the proper way. There have been some shaky issues around grassroots football development in Nigeria. And this is a time and this is a way, if you ask me, which I've said earlier, it's a way to start and make a formidable statement and moving on, continue with it.
Good one there. We just have to make a move to develop our football, especially the grassroots football. Age grade teams given the chance to have the wisdom of the three men, Balele, Olopade, and also Mukhtar, who will be advising the president concerning how this particular age grade football will get better. They will be fighting for honors in Peru if they can make it in Africa. 4 teams are talking about the age grade team from Nigeria. Now, let's talk about the under-23 Olympic Eagles. Just yesterday, the coach of their team, that's Salisu Yusuf, actually pruned down the list and now released a 18-man list for Tanzania and clash. Will be playing against Tanzania in Dar es Salaam. We had the media officer yesterday talking about the preparation concerning that game. And now let's look at the list of the players that are actually released by Coach Salisu Yusuf, where about 10 of them actually play from Nigerian League. Quickly talking about Isaiah AJ, who plays for Mujabi in Sweden. You have Promise Davis, Sirens FC of Malta. You have Michael Inaife, Istanbul Sport of Turkey, Oguniya Biodun, FK Order of Latvia, Ademo Emmanuel, FC Vizela of Portugal, Success Makonjola, CD Del Seno of Spain, Ezekiah Okripo, Don Jack of Ireland, Nazir Ibrahim of Rangers International, Muniru Idris, Niger Tornadoes, Edith Young Ezekiel, Remo Stars, Daniel Wotlai, Abia Warriors, Christopher Nwaize of Plateau United, Evans Ogbonda, who plays for Aqua United, Kudus Akoni, Raymond Stars, Nathaniel Unwosu, Water FC, Dominion Ohaka, who also plays for Water FC, and you have Ama John, Box to Box FC, and Bameyi Kalocho, who plays for Yum Yum FC. What's the name there? Box to Box, Yum Yum.
Some of these grassroots teams in Nigeria, man, there are lots of them. If you go to Lagos, man, you will see over 1,000 clubs. I mean, in Lagos, every week, every day, there is a competition to play.
Well, let's not digress. Let's just look at the fact that this particular list, I love the fact they make sure they have more home base, like about 10 of them out of 18. And that shows that Salisu Yusuf looked inward to see that, okay, we need to develop these guys, let them come and play, then at least add them up with some foreign players.
Ordinarily, there shouldn't be any foreign player there. It's supposed to be an all grassroots thing, because lots of our NNL teams, NWO, that are talking about Nigeria Nationwide League, Nigeria National League, they have some good stuff. The only challenge is that these clubs or these leagues, they hardly have a good number of games in a season. Like NLO, you talk about a bridge league every season. And NNL, next to NPFL, they talk about a bridge league. Sometimes they play maybe 10 games in a season, 12 games and all. It's not enough to assess a player, to assess a good team of a club. So it's one thing about football or any other sport, as a matter of fact, is that the more action in for a particular player, for a particular team, the better you get to assess that particular person, and the person gets to get more, get informed as the time goes. So it started with the entirely home-based guys. You know, it's an age grade, part of the age grade teams. So it started with them, but they couldn't give him what he wanted. I mean, the first friendly they played with one local team over there.
They lost 3-0.
They lost 3-0. So the man became so jittery that, is it what I'm going to face? And he didn't have much time to begin to work on this, work on that. So he needed a quick fix, plan, which made him to call in about 10 players from outside. Those are, they are played here, but eventually they got clubs outside. So. But not up to 10 of them eventually made it. I think about 7 or 8 that made it at the end of the day. So, but it's a good thing that these guys are there. I still have so much concern about the team. They played a friendly, the last one they played before they left this morning to Tanzania. They managed to get a draw.
1-1 against Stars of Ibadan.
Yeah, so, and they even considered first. So I don't know, shouldn't Stars don't take anything away from them. I mean, they are professional guys. Most of them are not in that level of U23 and all. But you want to look at a national team that should be more formidable and play and outbox any team that comes from any club side at the local level and make statement that will be convincing.
Good one there. Well, good one that Salisu Yusuf right now released the 18-man list that will be prosecuting that game against Tanzania in Dar es Salaam, first leg of the Under-23 AFCON qualifier. Let's see at least if they can make statement by the time they come back to Nigeria at Lekon Salami Stadium in Ibadan, where they'll be fighting for honor in the second leg. We hope that they are able to qualify. And now we look at, well, a particular story broke out, which has really, to some extent, caused issues here and there. But let's look at a story that has to do with 2022 National Sports Festival. Sport Ministry maintains ground on para sports, approved 3 demonstration sport. Before we talk about it, let's look at the 3 sport they approved, the list of those sports. We have the likes of tech ball, cricket. They will be coming up. No para sport in Delta 2022. Cricket is in for Delta National Sports Festival. There will be 3 demonstration sports in Delta: mixed martial arts, netball, and tech ball. Those are the 3 demonstration sports that will be coming up. Cricket is actually in, but for para sport, that's some special, they call them special sportsmen. They went on to protest, but really, according to the ministry, they're trying to make clarification that yes, we understand, but because earlier this year, by around April, you had your para sports festival created solely for your event. No other able-bodied men will compete, just for para sport and women, sportsmen. And for them to remember that April 2022, you had your para sports festival, and it's going to be like that because it's yours, just like we have the Paralympics, right? So strictly for you, no other person will be, no other able-bodied man will be competing in that your competition. It's strictly for para sports. So they should remember that. And now a statement was actually issued after coming from the Federal Minister of Youth and Sport. Let's look at that particular statement where they released that statement concerning the National Sports Festival 2022 response to petition over exclusion of some sports. The Federal Minister of Youth and Sport Development has his custody a letter of petition from special athletes over the exclusion of some of their sports from the 24th National Sports Festival slated for Delta State. Well, while that actually is moving on, we have to look at the fact that it is also important to state that the federal government, through the Federal Minister of Youth and Sport Development, after more deliberation and planning, approved the following. 1, setting up a special department for para sports, the one I just mentioned in the ministry. Organization of the first National Para Games that happened in April 2022, where 16 para sports were competed for by 21 states of the Federation and some sports club at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja, ensuring there was no discrimination in the treatment of athletes, able or special, in terms of welfare, camping conditions, remuneration, and other areas in all international competitions. The ministry hereby urges and advises against any further disruption of public peace and call on anyone with complaint to channel them through the appropriate authorities and see the path of dialogue. Well, right now, the ministry further urges the relevant security agency to handle the decision at hand with care in accordance with the law. Because after that release that Parasport won't be a part of it, I think they felt, oh, we've been sidelined or all that. But April 2022, you have Para Games here in Abuja, and it's strictly for them. So they should remember that.
Yeah, much as I've always criticized, steps taken by government or any of these sporting bodies, this is not to want to go in the same direction, because really what is worth doing is what at all is worth doing very well. I mean, this particular government under the Ministry of Youth and Sports had and are still doing well when it comes to para sports. For the first time in the history of this country, a department known as para sports is in place, created earlier this year. And they marched towards with action by instituting a para sports festival. I mean, it was beehive of activities then in April, and this is an annual event. I mean, the next one is going to happen, or should happen, by the first quarter of next year as well. So I don't know who is, who is talking with those that are protesting. They say, somewhere in Surulere there, in Lagos. I don't know who is talking to them. I don't know who is pushing them to do all of those. Well, because before it used to be that when there is this, everybody sports, they would just be attached and they will do their own. It will just be one kind.
No recognition.
No special recognition. They don't have the time to express themselves as it were. There is no, it's tough. Everything about them has always been by the way, by the side. But with the development that is coming from the sports ministry, they have been given a full status recognition. And they have been given their own competition without any interference, without anybody looking at them as second class citizens.
We should be celebrated.
I mean, we should be under normal circumstance in a society that is following things the way it should be. I mean, it's the best you can think of. I don't know why somebody is still pushing them to come and belong to, I mean, National Sports Festival that everybody knows is a sporting festival for everybody, people. Whatever happens with the para sports is just an attachment. You're no longer an attachment. You're no longer seen to be.
You have yours.
You have yours fully packaged. I think it was that then. It was a week or so, or a week, just like it happens with National Sports Festival. I mean, it was an inaugural event. The first time it's happening. 20-something states took part. By next year, and moving on, I believe it will keep improving. I mean, things will keep. The best they could do is not to protest. You know, the problem with this country is that the states are not doing what they are supposed to do. Everybody looks up to the federal government, the government at the center, to do everything, if possible, including providing day-to-day feeding money and all of that. But these things are not supposed to be so. They are supposed to go to their state government and talk to them to provide the facilities, to provide the wherewithal for them to keep training, and if there could be, you know, an intrastate competition, local government, they should be engaging in those
before the
within the time
national para games.
Yes, within the time that the para games will be scheduled, which is an annual thing, just like the sports festival, and then they will participate with the best that came from that local government or community by community in a competition. These things are not rocket science. So, but when they come and say, federal government, will federal government kill itself for you to know? This is the best ever that has happened in this country in terms of that full status recognition.
Good one there.
What else?
Well, we've been talking about National Sports Festival, where there are some para sports outlets are thinking maybe they've been sidelined and they went on protest in Lagos, although that has actually stopped after the federal ministry reminded them that April this year, a national para games was organized, and right now they have their own separate program actually slated for them to be able to compete when it comes to para sport, not to be attached with the National Sports Festival. So that recognition alone, it has never happened, but now they have it. They have their own department, they have their own para games, just like National Sports Festival. So there's no point of for protesting, and we just roll out there where the ministry made a statement concerning this. So instead of you stay in your house, instead of going out there to protest, it will actually all go well for you if you are being caught. Now from there, let's move on. Let's talk about other stories trending. Well, quickly we look at the NBA. Yes, NBA is back. Let's look at some of the results of match games that were played just early today over there in the USA. Quickly, let's look at the result of the NBA. That is Orlando Magic 109 against Detroit Pistons. Pistons defeated them by 113 to 109. You have Chicago Bulls, who actually came out bullish against Miami Heat, 116 to 108. Charlotte Hornets, 129. What's the way to go? San Antonio Spurs, 102 there. They won that game convincingly. Washington Wizards, they showed their wizardry against Indiana Pacers, 114 to 107. If you minus that 7-point extra. And New York Knicks, 112. Memphis Grizzlies 115, 3-point difference in the game that Memphis Grizzlies they were able to win. And Denver Nuggets, well, they couldn't show any much Nuggets against Utah Jazz, who won 123 against 102. See, looking at the result in the NBA now, as we have talked about other one, Houston Rockets, they lost their game against Atlanta Hawks, 117 against 107, while Cleveland Cavaliers, 105 against Toronto Raptors, former champions, 108 against 105. How Portland Trail Blazers, who actually won their game by 7 points, adrift of Sacramento Kings in that game. New Orleans Pelicans 130 against Brooklyn Nets, who actually scored 108 in that game. Extra 22 points for New Orleans Pelicans. Oklahoma City Thunder, well, they could not roll enough, not much thunder there. They lost against Minnesota Timberwolves by 115 to 108, while Dallas Mavericks, they lost by 2 points against Phoenix Suns in that particular game. Well, even though before this, 2 matches were played, played. Let's talk some games were played rather in the NBA, where Los Angeles Lakers actually lost against Golden State Warriors in that game. LA Lakers lost by 109 to 123. That game was played just a day earlier before we took the other ones. And Philadelphia 76ers 117 against Boston Celtic 126. That was how it went down. Well, the man of the moment, Stephen Curry, was able to score 33 points, and he has been fantastic so far for his club. Defending champion GSW Golden State Warriors, they are back to winning ways in their first game against Los Angeles Lakers. Well, briefly, that's how it went down in the NBA. It's back, and a lot of basketball lovers really love the slam dunk sport, really following the NBA.
And that's what US is known for. They're number one sport, basketball, and they are showing. You hardly will see any game that comes and go. I mean, at the league level there, that you will see any team getting less than 100 points. It's almost
very
impossible. It's almost impossible. And you see most of the games, the difference in points, 5, sometimes 2 or 3. The highest in most cases is about 9 or 10. So highly competitive, and they play so many number of games.
So much excitement.
I mean, in a season. This is regular season. From there, it dovetails to the best this, that, and it keeps the players and the league on. And you see the kind of sponsorship, the millions of dollars that go into this season, this game every year. Unimaginable.
Far bigger. In fact,
unimaginable.
Football can't even stand
some of the players earn so much more than the players in football.
Of course.
I mean, so you could imagine. And you begin to look at it. Some of the teams or the clubs are, Nigerian-born players, those that were born there and those that were born in Nigeria proper, later moved there, doing so well. And I can't really recall some of them, but it's a place that most basketball players want to do their thing as long as their career is concerned.
NBA is always very exciting to watch, where you see the best of basketball. When it comes to basketball, you just want to be at the NBA. That's the pinnacle. The way football is in Europe, that's how NBA is in America. Now, quickly, let's look at the result of the English Premier League that was played. Matches were played, and we look at Liverpool. They were able to do well by they peeped West Ham 1-0. A good one for Nunes Darwin. And you have Brentford 0 against Chelsea. Chelsea went away and they got a point. Southampton defeated Bournemouth by a lone goal, while Newcastle also defeated Everton. Newcastle really are doing well these days. They really find their mojo. And you have Manchester United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0 there. Manchester United, crossing of Fred. You have to look at Bruno also among the scorer. Well, a lot of issue concerning Ronaldo walking off the pitch. A lot of issue concerning that, but that's not what we are looking at. But for the way it is, Newcastle, Manchester United, Southampton, Liverpool, they went on a winning note just yesterday. Yeah,
we tried to preview these matches yesterday, and I mean, you wonder what you're talking about. Newcastle doing well. Why would they do well when after spending so much
money, right?
The new Saudi oil guys, I mean, they have been able to put some money there, and it's almost paying off immediately. I mean, in the table, I think they are either 6th or 7th on the table, and 6th, right behind Manchester United. That is, I mean, they are 5th in position. So they are doing good. Anything that wants to play them right now, we want to be very much precise and succinct in the way they, they marshal out their strategy. And of course, Man U yesterday, for me, is a surprise. I'm not saying that on a good day they are not supposed to, or they are not expected to muzzle Spurs. But the way they did it yesterday, it was like an easier way that most people didn't expect. I mean, their performance yesterday, I mean, even when you listen to the commentator, would say is about the best in the past seasons. I mean,
Manchester United.
For Manchester United, I mean, they came out firing from all cylinders. They didn't get as much goals, but in terms of statistics of the game, they were top-notch.
They were top-notch there. EPL, Manchester United right now coasting home and also Newcastle United. And before we go quickly, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. That's for women, where our own Nigeria star, Asisat Oshoala, was able to score a brace when the team 9-0, it was a 9-0 against Benfica women. Talking about women champions league, Zurich nil against Juventus, 2-0 there. Lyon, they lost against Arsenal. It was a good one for Arsenal to have won that game away against Lyon, who we know are champions of this competition. Bayern ladies 2-1 against Rosengard women. And for Barcelona Femenino, 9-0 against Benfica women. Asisat Oshoala scoring 2 after the 9 goals. She has added again, and that was a fantastic performance from Barcelona and also from Arsenal.
Even with about 2 assists, I think she got in that game as well.
Yes, plus 2 assists.
Yeah, so the young lady is really doing well. I mean, a day before that game, he was rated, I think it was 16th at the global
overall award
at the Ballon d'Or. I mean, she has shown so far that she's a force to reckon with at the club level. Though when it comes to the national team level these days, some of us don't seem to understand what's happening with her. So, but she's been able to prove that she could, give what it takes for our club to be on top.
Well, Asisat Oshoala there, a good one for her. She was able to score 2 goals and also made 2 assists for our club to win that game. They won 9-0 against Benfica. They should just forget about it. The second leg is just a formality. For Arsenal, good one, winning away against champions of this competition, Lyon, 5-1. Congrats to Arsenal women. And we just have to go now. A wonderful time with Ikenna Okonkwo. Thank you very much.
Many thanks.
Good one. I like that smile. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.